What's happening, y'all? Logan from Big Mouth Announcing here with what week is it? It's like week three of January. A little race recap from this past weekend. On Saturday, I went to Bergstrom, Texas for the 2019 Tommy Ketterhagen Road Race presented by Brad Houston Law. It was a bike race. Went all day. I got there at like 7 and I left around 4:30 or something like that. Great race. The Ketterhagen family they're awesome people, and the folks from Holland Racing that put on the event just as great. I mean, good feel, good vibe. It was windier than holy hell out there, and for me, yeah, it was a little rough. Nothing too crazy. I didn't put a tent up, and they have their own sound gear, so I just set up the sound gear and kind of emceed from my van a little bit because it was 40 degrees and very windy. I felt really bad for the folks that were racing. Where we were in staging, the wind was moderate, but once they got out into the farmlands, into the fields, I guess it was just atrocious, crazy wind. But as I put it to people there, it character building day, definitely a character building day. But had a really good time. Hung out with some good friends there. A lot of the folks that race at the driveway, the race series I do from March to September every year on Thursdays. So it was nice to see some old friends out there, and that put a big smile on my face. After that race ended, I came home. I picked up Kate. I had a sandwich, and we drove downtown Austin to set up the finish line of the 3M half marathon presented by Under Armour. They have two different locations. They have the start line and then they have the finish line, which are 13.1 miles apart. So we had to get the finish line set up on Saturday night. My guy Ben comes in and Sunday morning of race day and finishes the setup at the finish line. But Kate, myself, and my buddy Chuck Cash were at the start line on Sunday setting that up. You got to get it set up early, and then you got to break it down early as well because they open the road back up to traffic. So Kate and I showed up at 3:45 Sunday morning and started setting things up. Chuck came along. He brought his buddy John Woodford with him, which is always great to see. They named themselves Team Woodchuck, which is clever and funny. But we got everything set up. It was really cold. It was just about freezing, 32 degrees. I will admit it's the first race in about 3 or 4 years where I actually wore pants. I didn't want a chance being left out in the cold. It was freaking. It was pretty rough. But the start went real smooth, on time. Lori Allen did the wheelchair division. She started at 7:25. Then we had an on-time start of 7:30. Probably 30 or 31 degrees at race time. And once we got everybody across the start line, which took about 10 minutes because there were about 7,500 people racing, once we got everybody across the start line, I jumped in my truck and headed to the finish while Kate and Chuck broke down the start line stuff and drove it home. They got home or they left there at about quarter till 9, so almost a 5 hour morning, nothing too crazy though. I drove downtown, parked my truck almost right at the finish line. There's a parking garage that is open and free to park there at that time of day. So I just drove into the parking garage and parked towards the back, and I just had to hop over the little barrier, and I was right at the finish line. It was awesome. Ben had everything set up and rocking and rolling, and so basically I took over on the microphone. I got there at like 40 minutes into the race, 40 minutes then I'd say, and then our first finisher came across at like a 105 or a 106, largest field in 3M history, 3M half marathon history, which is really cool. So it was fun watching everybody come across the finish line. I had a great time. I don't know what it is with this race, but for the past 2 years, I have absolutely rocked the finish line. Best, the I mean, name calling left and right, and I've got a good vibe with everybody there. The music is rocking. Everybody's having fun. So I was really happy the way it all turned out, and what it made it even better is one of the head owners or one of the owners of High Five Events, which manages the race, came up to me after it was all said and done. We were all packing up, and he came up. We were making small chat. He's a good old buddy who used to train. Well, I used to train behind Dan because I couldn't keep up with him. But Dan Carroll, he came up. He goes, "Hey man, I just want you to know you sounded really pro today," and that's a major compliment for someone in my business, and I really, really appreciated it. So But yeah, we didn't have any problems. Ben left at around 11 after the award ceremonies were done. I hung out. I think I got out of there at just a little past 1 o'clock. Had everything packed up and off to the house. I went to get. I woke up. I took a 2 hour nap, and Kate woke me up, and she said, "Hey, wake up, wake up!" And she popped a beer, and she goes, "The Patriots are playing in 20 minutes." I jumped right out of bed and ready to watch that game. It was an awesome game. So go to the Super Bowl. Um, but it was a great week. Last weekend racing, it was great to get into the 3M swing of things. I really do like that race. It's a challenge, but it's a good warm up race for the marathon, which is a bigger challenge and a lot more work. So, but other than that, we've got nothing going on this weekend. In 2 weeks, we've got a lot going on bike racing wise. Plus, my mom is coming into town with John, so that will be kind of some fun. So there you go. Week 3 recap for Big Mouth Announcing. If you want to like, share, or whatever, subscribe to this channel, we'd appreciate it. If not, if you see us at the races, come up and say hi. We can't talk very long, but we'll definitely say hey. And if you catch a picture of us, post it on social media, whether it's Instagrams, Facebook, the Twitters, at Big Mouth Logan or at Big Mouth Announcing. We always appreciate it. More to come next week. We'll see y'all later.